Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Tuesday, August 9th. Over the next few days, we will have yet another surge of monsoon moisture pushing all the way across the Great Basin. Today, still some hot temperatures up across Idaho before the moisture really moves up north. Otherwise, scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected today over much of Nevada, into parts of the Arizona Strip, and even by this evening creeping up into parts of western Idaho. These thunderstorms will mostly be on the wet side down in Nevada, but will be a mix of wet and dry on the fringes and also up north into Idaho. Some of these thunderstorms may linger overnight in parts of southwest and central Idaho, and by Wednesday, expect many areas to see thunderstorms tomorrow. These thunderstorms again will be a mix of wet and dry up in the Salmon Chalice and the Payette, but relative humidity will be increasing along with cloud cover. Therefore, we will see decreasing temperatures as well. And we will again see some moisture out of some of these storms, but it will be fairly spotty up north. Otherwise, the deeper moisture remains over the southern two-thirds of the Great Basin, with potential for wetting rains and also flash flooding. By Thursday, some drier air moves into the western sides of the basin, with still scattered showers and thunderstorms over much of the rest of the region, and again still being a mix of wet and dry or more isolated coverage up north into Idaho. Over the last 24 hours, we did see scattered thunderstorms over mainly the western half of Nevada and down into southern Nevada, some isolated activity. These thunderstorms were also a mix of wet and dry. The wetting rains weren't quite as heavy with this first push of the monsoon. We did have some reports of over a quarter or over a third of an inch of rainfall, but also some spotty amounts less than a tenth of an inch. We are also already getting some lightning this morning over parts of northwest Nevada with the moisture in place, and we will see that lightning increase through the day. Over the last 7 to 14 days, obviously plenty of moisture associated with the monsoon has been in place, with significant wetting rains and flash flooding over many areas of Nevada going into northern Utah, eastern Idaho, and Wyoming. Again, still the dry spots, central Idaho, even into parts of southwest Idaho. ERCs really represent this well. Up in the Salmon Chalice and the Payette, ERCs did drop with some of the moisture going into the weekend and last week, but have quickly rebounded and are now near record levels again at the Salmon Chalice and above the 90th percentile on the Payette. Over northwest Nevada and areas that were dry but have seen moisture over the last week, ERCs have really decreased, and we will see that moisture continue with fire danger continuing to go down. The satellite loop from this morning shows an area of low pressure off the California coast, and this is what's pulling that moisture up from the southwest across the Great Basin. These storms on the western periphery are a little bit faster moving, but still looks like plenty of moisture in the Great Basin for a mix of wet and dry storms in western Nevada and up towards western Idaho, with many of the drier storms a little bit further west into the Pacific Northwest. Later this afternoon, again, that moisture really remains in place and pushes north over the western half of the Great Basin. Much of this moisture today up in Idaho will be in the form of cloud cover or maybe some spotty showers, but isolated lightning is expected, especially as we go later in the day towards the evening, and may even continue into the overnight hours. Otherwise, we still have high risk for hot temperatures on the Salmon Chalice, but the Payette with some cloud cover temperatures may actually go down a few degrees today, but still again much of that moisture will remain to the south. The picture for the showers and thunderstorms is shown here on the left. Again, a mix of wet and dry storms. Could be faster moving, but certainly some heavier pockets of wetting rains. And then the wind gusts, generally just outflow winds associated with thunderstorm activity. The relative humidity will be elevated today with the moisture in place across Nevada, but still remain in the teens across much of Idaho today for one more day. As we move into Wednesday, that moisture is pushed to the east and pulled northward, so we will see a better chance of showers and thunderstorms up in Idaho tomorrow, with some drier air moving into western sides of the Great Basin. Again, low fire danger in most areas of the Great Basin, but still up over the Salmon Chalice and Payette, it looks like lightning will be a little bit more isolated, a mix of wet and dry, but certainly at least some higher humidity going into Wednesday, with a better chance of drier lightning further north. Looking at the weather picture for Wednesday, again, you can see much of those showers and thunderstorms across the eastern half of Nevada and now into western Utah, and also into southern Idaho, with really anything up in central Idaho being still more on the isolated side, so any precipitation will be spotty, but certainly are expecting an increase in relative humidity. Wind gusts generally still low to moderate across the region with the exception of gusty outflow winds. You can see how the relative humidity really increases on Wednesday up into central Idaho. So we will see after today possibly some growth on our existing fires up towards the Moose Fire. With the dry air in place, we should at least see some increased humidity tomorrow, which should help things out. Going into Thursday, still moisture in place over the eastern half of the Great Basin, so still isolated storms up in central Idaho. Still no high risk. Again, could see some new starts, certainly with the lightning, but again, more isolated and any precipitation still spotty. On Thursday, again, over the eastern half of the region, still those scattered showers and thunderstorms, again, more isolated up towards Idaho. Relative humidity remains elevated on Thursday with the exception of the drier air that's pushing into the western side of the Great Basin. So we'll see if we get any holdovers in western or northwest Nevada, but moisture has been pretty high recently, so it looks like the risk for larger fire growth is still relatively low. After our couple days of hot temperatures, we will have one more day today up in Idaho, but temperatures won't be as hot as yesterday just due to the cloud cover, and then we will see more of a significant decrease in temperatures as that moisture increases on Wednesday. Forecast amounts of precipitation showing good chances of wetting rains being widespread across the eastern half to two-thirds of Nevada into western Utah and the Arizona Strip, with more spotty precipitation further north. As we move into Friday, still moisture in place for scattered showers and thunderstorms over the eastern half to two-thirds of the region. So again, very similar picture on Friday. Then by Saturday, we see that dry air pushing into Idaho, so we will see lightning chances move further east, with some drying for a few days up on the Payette and the Salmon Chalice. This may also continue into Sunday, with still that moisture in place across Nevada and Utah for at least elevated humidity, and then we will see again those showers and thunderstorms. A very similar picture on Monday. Central Idaho will still remain on the fringes of the moisture, so precipitation up there will be fairly spotty. So fire danger will really fluctuate between going from moderate, maybe a little bit higher, and then on days where there's increased humidity dropping a little bit, but still no significant wetting rains up there to really overall drastically decrease the fire danger. 7-day total precipitation, similar to the 3-day with that, again, much of the wetting rains and significant precipitation over the eastern half of Nevada into Utah. Some drier spots are eastern Utah, which won't see as much precipitation from this push initially, and then still parts of central Idaho that will be on the fringes. Even parts of western Nevada, the Sierra Front, really won't see significant wetting rains, and much of that will be off to the east. The 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from August 16th through the 22nd, shows still very warm conditions on the western side of the Great Basin, with the monsoon moisture, again, still central Idaho, western northwest Nevada on the fringes of that moisture, with the deeper moisture still taking hold through much of August across the eastern half of Nevada, Utah, and even up into Wyoming and southeast Idaho. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.